Hey guys, happy Thursday. I am excited about today's video. I'm going to be talking about investing in your business and why it's important to invest in your business, how much you should be investing, what to do when you're feeling super scared about investing in your business. I think this is a topic that's really important to cover because it makes the difference between building a successful business and not. So I'm going to go through this. I'm going to answer all your questions about investing in your business. So if you pop on, say hello and feel free to ask questions as I am going as well. So the first thing I want to talk about is, so there's three things I'm going to go through. Number one is what to do when you're feeling scared about investing in your business and why are you feeling scared. I want to go through that because I think that is number one and super important. Number two is how much should you be investing into your business. I'm not gonna give you like an exact number, but I kind of want to go through like what I think is important or helpful to invest in. And then that's the other part. So what is best to be investing in and what's actually important, what's going to help you move forward in your business, and what really should you not be spending money on that isn't really going to help you get clients and income coming in, because that's kind of the bottom line and what we always want as far as investing in our business, right? To get clients and get that income coming in. So what I see happens to a lot of people when they're getting started or when they've kind of hit a block in their business and maybe they've been doing some marketing, putting themselves out there, but they're not really getting the results. A lot of people find themselves in a place where they're waiting, right? Like they're waiting for the right time, for more time, and they're telling themselves, I'm not going to really get started in my business, or I'm not going to really invest and put everything in it until I have more time, or it is the right time, or I have more money, or have more money saved, or I have more clarity, confidence, certainty. So a lot of people put off investing because of those things. And just what I want you to be able to see is that those are excuses because they're all things that you can figure out, right? You can figure out how to make time. We don't just have time like lying around that we're like, I have all this extra time, I'm going to use it to build a business. Like, no, like you have to make the time for it. It's never going to be the right time. Everyone I've ever worked with has had life stuff happen while we're working together. I'm always having life stuff happen. That's how life works. So you can't expect that all of a sudden it's gonna be the perfect time and nothing's going on and building your business can be super easy. Like, it's not how it works. And also, most of us don't have a lot of money just laying around to invest into our business. We have to find the money, put aside the money, like create the money. So just recognize if those are big things that are coming up for you, and recognize that they are excuses and that you can figure those things out if starting your business or building your business is really important to you. Okay. So that's what I want to go through first. And I want to talk about number one, like, why is investing in your business scary for a lot of people? And because this is one of the things, like, I think it always is a little scary. And the reason why a lot of people don't invest in their business is because they don't really believe in themselves, or they don't really trust themselves. They don't trust that they're going to follow through and do the work and to stay committed to it and get the results. And so what I hear a lot of people saying is like, what if it doesn't work out? What if I don't get the results? And what I want to say about that is that it's up to you whether you get the results or not. And if you stick with something and you're persistent and you continue with it, you can and you will get the results, okay? So it isn't like a magic 8-ball where you're like, I'm going to invest in my business and I'm going to turn over the magic 8-ball and it's going to tell me whether it's going to be successful or not. You determine whether your business is going to be successful or not. So I think so many of us are giving our power away and we're like, I'm going to invest in this, but I don't really know if it's going to work or not. Like, it's not how it works. You decide. You're the one putting in the work. You're the one that's staying consistent with it. I would say the one thing that we don't necessarily have total control over is the timing. Like, when we're going to be making a certain amount of money in our business. Like that, sometimes we're not totally in control over, but we do have a lot of control over, but not total control. So that piece we can like let go of, like being so constricted around like the timing piece. But whether you can make your business work or not, totally up to you. Okay. So first of all, I want you to know that. Hey, Shannon, so glad to have you on the Magic 8 Ball. It's so like that. Like people are like, well, what if it doesn't work? I'm like, you decide if it works. Like that's just how it is. And truly, I don't think everyone is cut out to be an entrepreneur because it's tough. Like it just is. But if it's something you're really called to do and you really want to do it, you can make it work. You just have to get gritty. You got to put in the work. You got to stick with it even when things feel challenging or feel like they're not working. Okay. So that was number one. So a big one that comes up for people too, especially if coaching is fairly new to you, is not feeling super confident in your abilities and that you can help other people and help them get results. And I want you to recognize, like, when that's coming up, that's where a lot of people get stuck as far as investing, because they're like, I don't really believe in myself and that I can really help people and help people get amazing results. And of course, if it's totally new to you, like that's going to come up for you a little bit, but I would really check in with yourself and be like, if you have made amazing transformation in your life, or you've kind of worked with people maybe unofficially and you just know like what you know and how it's changed for you, you just have to like trust that you can do that for other people. And the way that you're going to really build up that confidence is by doing it. So, but I want you to recognize like that's where a lot of people get stuck too. And they use the excuse of like, oh, I can't invest in it or whatever, but just check in and see if it's really because you're not feeling super confident about what it is that you have to offer and that you can help people. Hey, Cynthia, good morning. Okay, so a few other things that I want you to know, because these, when you see these popping up, they're going to really help. Your brain always wants you to stay the same. Okay, I talk about this a lot, but it's how the brain is programmed to work. It resists change because your brain always likes to be on autopilot and it wants to keep you safe. Okay, which really means like keeping you in the cave. Like if you're a caveman, like it doesn't want you to go wander out where you might be eaten by a bear or something. Obviously we don't have to worry about that anymore, but our brain still functions in that way where it's like, don't do anything different. Don't, rock the boat. Don't try new things because it's not safe. And so just recognize that when you're thinking about investing, that's another thing that's going to pop up. Your brain's going to be like, don't do it. Don't do it. Like it's scary. Like you might fail, you might die, you're going to end up living on the street in a box. Like those are things my brain has said to me too. But I was like, no, like silliness, like I'm committed to following through and making this work. So just recognize that brain. It can be tricky. So the other thing I would say, like when you're investing in yourself and your business, you're making a commitment to yourself and to the universe and saying, I'm all in. I'm going for this. I'm going to make it work. I'm committed. I'm going to get gritty. I'm going to follow through. And I think a lot of us teeter on this line of not fully going all in and having 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And because of that, we're not really getting results, right? We're not really getting results in our business. We're not really all in. We're not giving it our full effort. And we haven't really made that declaration that I'm going to do this, I'm going to make it work, and I'm totally committed. And so I think when you make an investment and when you make an investment that feels large to you, like it's like a bit of a stretch and you're like, oh my gosh, this is scary. I think that's you making that commitment to yourself and to the world and saying, I'm all in and I'm going to make this happen. Okay. So I think it's a really powerful thing to do. And I have invested a lot of money into my business. I've invested well over $100,000, probably over $150,000 into my business at this point. And I'm not saying you have to do that to get started. That's been over 6 years of growing my business, right? Every time I invest in my business, it feels a little scary. But every time I invest in my business, it comes back to me so much more. I make so much more money. I feel so much more growth in me and in my life and in my business and transformation. And so I can stand behind it 100% and be like, every time I invest, yes, it feels a little scary, but it's so worth it, right? And why is it worth it? Because I make it worth it, because I follow through and I do the work. And if I don't, then I know it's me and I'm not the one that's following through and doing the work. But so many of us get so caught up in like, is it the right decision? Should I invest in this? Like, what if it doesn't work? And once again, it goes back to like, you make it work. So if you decide to invest in something, then you're like, I'm making this decision. I'm deciding that it's right for me. And then I'm going to get everything that I can out of it and make it be amazing. So take your power back and don't like keep giving it away to outside forces in your life, whether it's other people or circumstances. Okay. Super important, super powerful for you. Hey, Sylvia. Awesome, you're here. Okay, so a few more things. A lot of people feel like they need outside validation in order to invest in their business as well, whether it's from your partner. This is the biggest one. And they're like, I need my partner to be on board for me, or I need my partner to believe in me, or whatever it is. And I want you to say, like, the problem there when I hear that from people is that you're not totally believing in yourself. And for most of us, if you're in like a good relationship, your partner will be supportive of the things that you want to do if you totally believe in yourself and what you need to do. Okay. So your partner isn't going to be the one who does the work for you, and they're not going to be the one that's showing up and building the business. You are. And so just be aware if this is one of the excuses that comes up for you. And the one last thing I want to put in around the fear and the mindset piece is that your potential clients will reflect back to you your personal beliefs. And so it's so important that you believe in yourself and your business. And if you don't, why would your clients believe in you, right? And why would they want to invest to work with you if you don't totally believe in what it is that you're doing? And so you're not investing in your business because you're like, I don't really totally believe in it. I don't really believe I can be successful with it. Like, you're putting that energy out there, and that's what you're going to get back from potential clients. Okay. Like, if you aren't all in and you're like, yes, I totally believe in this, I believe I can help people, like, you're going to get that from other people. And that's what you're going to hear back on like calls and stuff with people. You know, people are gonna be like, oh, I'd love to, but I don't want to invest, you know, because you're not investing in yourself and you're not totally invested in the results and in what it is that you have to offer. Okay. Does that make sense to you guys? Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to go through and just see what you guys said. Yes. Okay, Dean, this is such a good one. So redefining diving in without a safety net can be empowering. Self-doubt can be crippling. So what I mean, like, as far as being all in your business, I don't mean like you have to quit your job and start your business, right? I don't mean you have to like jump off the cliff and start your business and have like, nothing to support you. Like, that is not at all what I mean. And I don't think that is the best way to start a business, right? But you can still be smart about it by having, your living expenses covered, or having savings that you can live off of while you're starting your business. Okay. I think that's so important. And yeah, what that looks like to you as far as being all in is going to look different to everyone depending on your unique life circumstances. Some of us have money saved and we could quit our job and just do our business, right off the bat. A lot of us, that's not going to be the case. And we want to continue working while we're building our business. And that's really what's going to best support you for building your business. So I'd always ask yourself, like, what is going to best support me to build my business? And you look at the end goal and you look at what's the best path to get me there and what's going to support me to get me there. And a lot of times it's not like putting yourself in a bad position where you're going to be like so stressed about money, right? Like, that obviously is not the best path. So just be wise about that is what I would say. So there's this kind of fine line between being all in, but also being smart about it and not putting yourself in a bad position. But that's a really good point. Outside validation is a huge mental roadblock for you, Crystal. Yeah, where do you feel that you're needing it? Because I think that can be helpful. Like, who do you think you need it? Oh, notice that even when your partner was supportive, you had doubt. Yeah. And that's why. Yeah. So for a lot of us, we're like, I need these other people to believe in me, whether it's like your parents or, your partner, whoever it is, your friend, like it could be whoever it is, but really recognize that, because if you totally believe in yourself, you don't need that outside validation. So it can be so empowering to just see that. And then that's a opportunity for you to go through and do that work to help transform that belief as far as like, I need someone else, because you never do. As long as you've got your own back, that's all that matters. Okay. All right. So now I want to talk a little bit about what to invest in. Okay. What do you want to invest in when you're working on growing your business? Okay. So I'm going to tell you, number one is coaching and mentoring from someone who has already accomplished what it is you want to accomplish. Okay, that has by far been the biggest investment that I have made in my business throughout the whole time of growing my business is in mentoring. So working with other people, learning what they've done, learning what works, having someone to give me feedback. It's been the biggest investment that I have made by far, and the thing that has changed my life and my business the most. Okay, so when it comes to investing in mentoring and coaching, I think it's really important to know what kind of support you need. And so there's tons of different options out there. There's a lot of programs that are just like, do it on your own, like download some course and just do it. And those options are generally less expensive, but they also offer a lot less support. And I think what happens for a lot of people is they go through and they do those courses, or they never even open up the courses and do them, but they don't get the feedback that they need to be able to really move forward. Like they're doing all these things. They're like, I don't really know if this is good. It's right. I'm not really getting the results. I don't know what I'm doing wrong or what might need to be changed. And so I think a lot of people get stuck in that. So I would just say, I have found for myself that investing in high level mentoring where I get feedback from whoever I'm working with, and they can actually answer questions and look at what I'm doing and give me that like actual personalized feedback, has been very instrumental to my growth. So that's the kind of support that I invest in, even though it is generally at a much higher price point. Okay. So I would keep that in mind with yourself, and also always looking for someone who's like a good fit for my personality and, just what I'm wanting to learn, and that I feel like connect with. Like that's been important for me as well. Okay. And then the second biggest investment that you're going to have into your business is generally in marketing. So anything that we invest in as far as like the technical side of things, the nice thing about coaching is that for a lot of us, it's location independent. We don't have to have an office. We don't necessarily need any employees or staff or any of that. So overhead for a coaching business is really, really low, which is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Like there's barely any businesses that you can start with such low overhead. So that's a very awesome thing with coaching. But at the same time, there are things that I think are important to invest in. Like generally, I think it's nice to have like a website, to have like some sort of email carrier, like a CRM is what it's called, like MailChimp or ActiveCampaign or Entreport. Like there's tons of different ones, but having some way to get contacts and emails, landing pages can be great. And then I, of course, talk a lot about like paid marketing, paid traffic, and I use Facebook ads, which I think are an amazing tool. So that being said, I think there are things that are important to invest some money in, and it's not a lot of money. So I do want to go through two things though. When it comes to the marketing piece, there are two options that you have. So traffic is what you need to, I talk about this a lot, but it's like the gasoline to your business. You need traffic, which means people seeing what it is that you do and your work. And there's really like two big general ways to get traffic. You can get free traffic, which really you get from like, let's say like going to networking events or potentially giving talks or writing guest posts or guest articles or just trying to like post on Facebook and different social media. And then there's paid marketing, which means using something like Facebook ads or something that you're actually paying for, and it's getting you in front of your target market and bringing people back to you. And so that is one of the big things that I teach my clients and that I use to grow my business. And the reason why is because it's more time efficient, a lot more time efficient and energy efficient, because you can get out in front of the people that you want to be reaching and bring them back to you. So the thing about free marketing, like if you're really not wanting to spend money on marketing, like that's fine, but you have to recognize that you're going to be spending a lot more time and energy to get any sort of leads in your business. So it's kind of the finding the balance between your time and your energy versus putting some money towards something and having that be a way to bring in traffic for you. Does that make sense to you guys? But I don't think like one way is right or one way is wrong, but I think depending on your vision for your business, there can be certain things that are going to be a lot better fit for you as far as what it is that you're wanting to create. Okay. Hey, Melina. And hey, Karen. So, okay, let me think of what else I wanted to talk about for that. So, the last thing that I really wanted to talk about is the importance of investing into the right things in your business, okay? So, there's so many things that you could potentially invest in, and I think it's really important to be aware of what you're investing your time and your money into and making sure that it's something that's going to bring you clients and income, okay? So a lot of people there's a fair number of people invest like a lot of money into their website and then realize like they spent all this money on a website and it's not bringing them any clients. Like your website's just sitting out in space and people aren't magically finding it, right? So that's like one of the things, but I see a lot of people get stuck in this, like they think, oh, I have to create all these things and or spend all this time creating like a program and putting it together on a big, membership site and like all this stuff, spending all this time and money on things that aren't bringing you clients and income. So I think that's where like that mentoring is really important as well, because you can figure out, okay, what things are actually important for me to spend my time and money on and what things are really not going to help my bottom line, which is getting those clients and that income coming in, okay? So a super important piece. And the other piece behind that is learning correctly how to use the tools. So like I said, I talk a lot about like Facebook ads, paid marketing. You can use Facebook ads and paid marketing and they can be a total money suck hole for you, right? Like you could put tons of money into them and it could lead you nowhere. It couldn't grow. You might not get any growth in your community. You might not get any clients. You might not get any return on your investment, which is what we want, right? We want that return on investment. So you're investing into the ads and then it's bringing back money to you, usually a lot more money than you're investing in. So it's important to learn how to use the tools correctly so that they're getting you that end result that you want, right? Otherwise, you could be putting a bunch of money towards something that once again is not leading to clients or income, right? And nobody wants to be doing that. So you want to learn what's the important things to invest in, and then how to use those tools in the best way so that you can make sure you're using them effectively. Okay. So true. Yeah. So let me know, do you guys have any questions when it comes to investing, what to invest in, or getting stuck around like the fear of it? One other thing that someone asked, and I just want to address, is about getting help with your business, as far as even getting help setting things up, and like whether it's your website or whatever. And I think this can be a good thing, to hire someone to help you do things. But I think it's also really important to learn how to do most things on your own before you hand it off to someone else. And the reason why is because then you don't know if someone is doing it right, and if they aren't, or if you're not getting results, you don't know why, and you don't really understand the process. And I actually really learned this through Facebook ads, because when I first started Facebook ads like 6 years ago, I think it was, I didn't know how to do them, and I just handed them off to someone else and had them do them for me. And it was a terrible experience because I didn't understand Facebook ads. I didn't understand how to set them up. I didn't understand what I was looking for, how to look at like the investment, like any of that. So I felt like out of control because I was like, this person's spending my money and I don't really understand what's going on and if I'm getting the results and if they're working. And so I really have learned how to do everything in my business so that I understand what's going on and if things are working and how to make changes and stuff before I've handed things off to other people. So I think there's kind of like a balance there when it comes to those things. Yeah, and this is a big one for a lot of us. Crystal's saying like, already invested a lot in your business, but haven't done the massive action needed to build the business. So a lot of us do that too. And I think it's such an important thing to get clear on, as far as a lot of us get stuck looking for that special something that's going to like magically change our business. And we get on this mission of like kind of searching for that answer and thinking like someone is doing something special in their business that got them these amazing results. And often what is really going on is that we haven't actually implemented what we've already learned and taken that massive action to get those results. And I think it's really important to recognize the difference between those two, because I have gotten stuck in that in the past too, where I was like, why am I not getting the results? Like, why is this person like getting all these clients and having all the success and I'm not? And like searching like, oh my gosh, maybe there's something I'm missing, something I didn't learn, like some special technique I don't know. And really it was just, I hadn't implemented everything that I had already learned and what I already knew to be doing. And so that's really where I was getting stuck. And so I think for a lot of us, you can really ask yourself, like, if you ask yourself, like, what do I need to do to get the results I want? Your intuition is smart and often will guide you in the right way. So if investing and really like all these pieces, like, you know, knowing how to set up your marketing, knowing how to put all the systems in place and what to invest your money in, how to use paid marketing, like how to use Facebook ads, how do you make sure that you're putting your time and your attention on the right things, like something I'm super passionate about. And I love helping coaches figure out how to best spend their time and their money to get clients and income. And so if that's something you feel like you need support with, definitely reach out to me and let me know. You can send me a message on Facebook. You can send me an email. I'll put a link around this video and you can sign up for a free call with me and we can talk about steps that you can take to start getting those clients and that income in your business. And so you understand like what to invest in. And so you're not wasting money or time on things that don't really work. So it makes such a huge difference. Do you guys have any other questions? If you do, type them in and I'll answer them about what to invest in, how much to invest, all those things. There, I put a little link. If you're interested in speaking to me about your business, I would love to do that. I always love helping you see where you might be getting stuck and how we can get you the results you want. All right, well, if you guys don't have any questions, I'll go ahead and wrap up. If you do type them in quick, I'll stick around for a second so I can answer them. If you catch the replay and you have questions, type them in. I'm happy to answer anything. I've done all the things in my business, right? Like all the things that don't work, all the things that have worked. So I understand the confusion and that can be there. And I also understand what actually works. This is such a good one, Crystal. Okay. So a big thing that comes up, the money piece, right? And when we're investing and we have stories around having debt and we think we need to fix that before we invest in our business. So when I started my business, I had gotten to chiropractic school and obviously was in debt from going to school. And I had worked a little bit after school and for other doctors. And then I started my business. So I did not have any money saved at all. I had over $200,000 in student loan debt. And for a long time, I was telling myself, it wasn't that long, but it was for a while, I was telling myself, like, I needed to do what I had gone to school to do, which was doing chiropractic, make enough money doing that, and then I could start the business that I really wanted to do, which was coaching and having a location independent business. Tried telling myself that, tried building that business, and it was a complete fail because it wasn't what I really wanted to be doing. And so I ended up having to invest more money in learning how to start a coaching business because I knew that's what I really wanted to do. I personally put everything on a credit card. I didn't have any money saved. And I was able to start my business, and it did not take off overnight. It wasn't like all of a sudden I was making all this money, but I continued with it, and I was working other jobs too. Like, I got a job. I was talking about this. I was working at Macy's. I was doing visual merchandising, like dressing mannequins, and I was still working at the clinic doing some nutrition work too while I was starting my coaching business. And so I figured out for me, like, what is the best way for me to move towards what it is I want. And it wasn't waiting until I paid off all my debt for chiropractic school before I started my business. Like, that was not the best option for me. And had I done that, I would have missed out on making all this money that I have been making now in my business. And I'd probably still be struggling in the exact same spot, being like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing what I really want to be doing. I'm not making the money I want to be making and all this stuff. So instead of staying stuck in that spot and using my debt as an excuse not to move forward, I was like, I can do this and pay off my debt. It wasn't like I wasn't able to pay it off. Obviously, I'm still working on paying off my student loans. So, but that's fine. I'd much rather be living the life I want to be living and doing the work I want to be doing and paying off that debt slower. Like, that's my choice and my option because that's the life I want. I don't want to be living a life where I'm waiting to pay off all my debt before I can go and live the life I want. I'm not saying that's the right choice for everyone, but that was the right choice for me. And it has proven to be the right choice by far. Okay. So I would just be recognizing like the story you have around that for yourself, and also how you think about debt, because debt isn't good or bad. It is, our thoughts about it are what make it what it is. I mean, that's really, it's just money you have borrowed, right? So it's your thoughts about that. So if you think, I'm borrowing money so that I can build this amazing business I want to build, or give myself the chance to build this amazing business I want to build, then that totally changes. Whereas if you're like, oh my gosh, I can't ever go into debt and it's wrong, and I can't take it out to build my business, like, that's how you're going to feel about it, right? So just be aware of that. I'm not saying there's a right way, but debt is neutral. It's not good or bad. It's how you think about it. Okay. Hopefully that answers that. Do you believe in always having a coach in one or other area? So I'm not sure if I'm answering that question right, Melinda, but I'm guessing if you're asking about do I always believe in having a coach? I am almost always working with a coach. And I've worked with coaches around emotional eating and body image when I was like, before I even started any of my coaching stuff, I worked with someone around that. I've worked with tons of different business coaches. I've worked with a health coach. I've worked with a life coach. Like, I've worked with coaches. I believe in it 100%. I think coaching is the most powerful thing I have ever invested in. So I stand behind that 100% too. And I'm like, coaching is amazing. And I think it's really important as a coach that you have invested in coaching as well, right? Like, how can you be like, I think it's really important for you to invest in a coach and you really should do it, and yet you've never invested in a coach yourself, right? Or even a business coach or any sort of coach. Like, you're being a bit of a hypocrite then. So I would really look at that too. Like, if you're like, oh, I can never invest in coaching, and yet you think your clients should invest in coaching because it's going to really help them, like, I would look at that belief too. Okay. Yeah. I think it's super helpful. It keeps me moving forward in my life. Like, that's what's super important to me, is to keep moving towards like my highest version of myself. And so I'm always working with a coach to help me with that, because I like to be moving forward. I like to be seeing what I'm capable of, what I can do, you know, who I can become. Like, for me, that's like a big part of like my purpose, I'd say, and to show other people the same. So it's for sure, I'm always investing in that. Yeah. Let me see what you're saying, Shannon. Not knowing where to start can be paralyzing. Yeah, so not knowing where to start can be really paralyzing, and that's why I think it is so important to have a coach or a mentor, because someone that can walk you through the steps and tell you where to start, what to do first, what to spend your time and attention on. Like, I 100% believe that too, and I'm so glad you're finding it helpful. But that has been helpful for me too, especially in the beginning, for sure. In the beginning, the more the longer you're in your business, you can kind of be like, you get a little bit more of an understanding as far as what you need to do and where you need to focus, and what needs to be changed. But in the beginning, when you're just getting started, it's kind of like so much stuff. So it can be really helpful to have like that step-by-step game plan for sure. All right. Do you guys have any other questions? That was all good stuff. I love talking about this stuff. It's important. The money piece is always such a good piece. So, all right. Well, if you guys think of anything else and you want to add it in, let me know. I will come back. I will answer your questions. Otherwise, everyone who joined, thank you so much. I love having you guys on. I love chatting about these things. And I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week. And I will talk to you guys soon. Okay? Bye.